Good evening, viewers. Thank you, those who stay with me. I came live after a quite long time. This is due to Ramadan, and I was busy for some other affairs. From now on, I'll give you all the update on daily basis. Today, I'll give a very important update in relation to absence. Those who absent from the UK and those who are already pre-settled status, how the absence will affect your pre-settled status to get settled status in future, and also other important update regarding UK residence permit under EU law. That is, as the transitional period would end. The deadline is 30 June 2020, a couple of days later. So if you still hold UK residence card, you will not able to travel by this residence card outside the UK. After you can go, but you cannot come back to the UK by using UK residence card, because after 31st of after June, the UK residence card will be invalid. So let me speak about the absence related issues. On 15 December, the Home Office published a short guidelines, document basically covering absences from the UK, either due to COVID-19 or for any other reasons. And that guidelines were challenged later on, but last 10 June 2021, it was updated again, and it was more flexible. So how, if you're absent from the UK for either from COVID-19 or for any other reason, if you're absent from the UK, how it will affect you and how long you can stay outside the UK if you have pre-settled status. Now, many EU citizens who came in this country before 31st December 2020 applied for pre-settled status. They get pre-settled status and they later leave United Kingdom with a hope that they will come back later. Unfortunately, this is not the case. If you left UK, if you stay, the standard rule is if you stay outside the UK more than 6 months, your pre-settled status will be affected because your continuous residence permit, because you will get settled status after 5 years of continuous residence. Now, if you don't comply, if you don't fulfill that requirement, you will not able to get the settled status. Either the time when the continuous residence will break, that from that point you need to start again the continuous residence for 5 years, and once again you need to fulfill the 5 years, then you will get settled status. So that was the initial rules. Now that was challenged, and then later on, the Home Office published last 10 June, published the new guidelines, update basically the guidelines. And now what the Home Office said, instead of a 6 month, they bring some exception. That the guidelines said that a single period of absences for more than 6 months, but which doesn't exceed 12 months, is permitted where there is an important reason. Now, the important reason is there are a couple of reasons which guideline itself said. In addition to that, what the new guidelines added is coronavirus, absence related to coronavirus. So if anyone who absent from the UK after he or she get pre-settled status, and if the absence is more than 6 months but less than 12 months, then still he or she can claim that he was absent for a permitted reason. That is an important reason. Now, you must prove that is with evidence. So if you are stuck in, for example, you got the pre-settled status, you went to Italy, and then you stuck over there. You was there for more than 6 months, but less than 12 months. Now, you must provide evidence when you're back to the UK. Your continuous residence will continue if you can provide evidence. If you can keep the evidence and provide the evidence with explanation, at the time you will apply for settled status. So what you should do now, if you're stuck over there, for example, for travel restrictions, so you need to keep the evidence. If, for example, a letter from the doctor, or you cannot travel due to the country was red listed, or you cannot afford the hotel cost for quarantine. So these types of evidence, you need to keep it now, so to use it after 5 years. This is very important. If you cannot provide evidence, your continuous period will be lapsed. I'm telling you what the general rule. The general rule is if you stay outside the UK more than 6 months, your continuous residence will break, and you will not able to qualify for settled status after 5 years or after a couple of years later. However, the last 10 June, they updated the rules, and now they said that a single period which is more than 6 months but less than 12 months will be permitted, but the absence must be for a important reason. For example, for medical reason, for working remotely from the home outside the UK, or for travel restriction, or now they added that for coronavirus related absence. So this is a good news. In terms of if you get the settled status, you are safe. You can stay outside the UK for up to 5 years. This used to be 2 years, but now the rule has changed. So this is one of the important update regarding the absence from the UK. So if you are absent from any other reason, for example, for childbirth, for medical reason, for family, staying with the family, anyone dies in the family, or absence relating to the coronavirus, if you stay outside the UK for the more than 6 months but less than 12 months, you can come back and continue your residence. Another important thing, which is I think most of you know, that 30th December is the deadline for the application. This end of this month, this is the deadline for pre-settled status application or settled status application. Now the issue is there any chance to delay or extend the deadline? So far, I know today there is no chance, there is no plan for the government to extend that deadline. And so there is no chance you can make the application. However, the guidelines had little bit flexible and changed. That is, if anyone cannot make the application for pre-settled status within the timeline, within the deadline, and if for an important reason, for an exceptional circumstance, then you can make the application after the deadline, but you must provide evidence, and that evidence and you must provide an evidence and explanation, and that evidence and explanation must be a reasonable, a valid reason, an important reason, and the caseworker will take into account your circumstance, your explanation, and your evidence. If it does provide and this is the exceptional situation, for example, you was in the UK before 31st December 2020, exercise duty rights, you cannot make the application for pre-settled status. In the meantime, you'll have to for some reason left the UK and you're stuck in somewhere in Europe or anywhere in the world. You cannot come back to the UK due to your country being red listed, or for any other reason. So in that case, you can come back after 31st of June 2021 and then make an application for pre-settled status after 31st of June 2020. So what I want to make clear that you can make application for pre-settled status after 31st after June 2021 if you can prove that you was in the UK before 30 December 2020, you exercised duty right, and before 31st of June you went somewhere, you cannot come back to the UK for an exceptional circumstance. For example, you was in isolation, or you are in quarantine, or your country was red listed, or for any other reason, you can make an application after 31st of June 2021, and then you provide evidence with an explanation. Now, what the caseworker guidelines said, that the caseworker shouldn't looking for a reason to refuse the application, but they should look into to give a status, pre-settled status. So this is a different, because when you make an application under domestic immigration law, which is applicable for non-EU nationals, the caseworker guidelines, although it doesn't say, but they look into to refuse, they accrue to find out to refuse the application. But in this EU guidelines, withdrawal agreement clearly said the caseworker should find a reason to give someone pre-settled status, not looking for a reason to refuse the application. So I think this guideline is helpful. So deadline is 31st of June. So if anyone stuck in outside the UK from in Europe, you cannot make the application. But if you can prove that you are eligible for, because you was in the UK before 31st of December 2020, however, you cannot travel to the UK for some any exceptional circumstance, any other reason, you can make an application even after 31st of June 2021. This is all about today. I hope you understand that if you stay outside the UK for more than 6 months, your pre-settled status will lapse, your continuous break will be break, and then the initial 5 years will start again. However, if you stay outside the UK for more than 6 months but less than 12 months for an important reason also defined by the guidelines, that is any health related or medical reason or childbirth or any other reason, or for example it also include the coronavirus related absences, then your continuous break will not be break, and you can continue for leave to remain. After 5 years you can apply for settled status. But of course, if you stay outside the UK more than 6 months, you must give an explanation, you must provide evidence why you was there, what was the important reason. Thank you very much, all of you. And if you have any question, I see lots of comment, but right now I cannot give the answer. In the future, I'll take all these questions. And let me see a couple of comment. Okay. Let me first comment my first question. Hello, sir. I watched your video from France. I need your advice. Have one question. Thank you, brother, for your question. If you leave your comment below, then I'll try to give the answer. And next question. If someone holds circumstances like medical and compassion nature before COVID-19, can any UK immigrant liaison officer can confirm after 20 days after denying boarding? I don't understand, brother, your question. The next question, what do you ask? Who can decide that passenger or UK-bound passenger who stay over 2 years out of the UK without holding ILR status? Well, I do understand you mean how they do understand. Well, look, they will know about it, but it is not this is now 5 years, but anyway, they will trace, they will see in their system. For example, you are in the HMRC by national insurance, the tax returns, all this mechanism, they use their own resources to trace you whether you was in the UK or not, or you are outside the UK. This will be very easy for them. So you have to be careful. Don't think that they will not find out whether you was in the UK or outside the UK. This is not work like that. Last thing, what I want to say, many of EU family members, especially non-EU nationals who are in the UK, hold biometric residence card. Now, I'll speak about biometric residence card after my next video, to give an update about what the situation. But what I want to say is biometric residence permit under the European law will no more valid after June 2021. Even though you have pre-settled status, it show you can claim benefit, you can live in the UK, but your biometric residence card will no more valid after 30, even though the validity have maybe 3-4 years or 1 more years, but it will not be valid. So if you hold currently biometric residence card under the EU law, you should apply for biometric residence permit under the EU settlement scheme, despite your biometric residence is not expired yet, and you have pre-settled status internally, because many of you applied for pre-settled status and the Home Office issued pre-settled status on paper form. However, they didn't issue any new BRP card because your BRC card was valid at that time and it will expire maybe after 2-3 years. Well, government changed the law now. You need to change the policy now. If you hold biometric residence card, you should make an application now for the replacement with a BRP under the EU settlement scheme. Otherwise, you cannot travel with this BRC card. If you travel, you can go to your home country, but when you will come back, you cannot come back to the UK with this BRC card. So before you travel to your home country, you should apply now. There is no fee; it's free of charge. You can make the application. It's a straightforward application. Fill up the application form, submit it, give your fingerprint or verify your identity, and the Home Office will issue a new biometric resident permit. Thank you very much, all of you. I'll come back tomorrow with a new update. Stay with me. Please share this video with your friends, family, community in your Facebook page. All the best for you. Thank you very much. Good night for today.